All right, everyone. Welcome to the Talk Lab episode 7. I hope that everyone is doing well, everyone is staying safe. If you haven't watched our previous episodes, go ahead and watch them. If you didn't subscribe to the channel before you start this video, go subscribe and check out our social media that will be in the description. Today, I do have two assistants with me in the Talk Lab podcast. One of them being Muhammad. You've joined me in one of the episodes, and then now you returned into the last episode with Iyad, and then now
It was great.
Now you're in the podcast.
Yeah, finally.
Finally, yeah. You're playing.
I'm so
such
glad
a
to be
big
with you,
part.
actually, indeed.
Such a big part of the podcast.
Thank you so much.
Do you want to introduce our other assistant?
The other assistant is Google Home.
Mini.
Hey, Google, say hi, please.
Hi there.
Yes, it's polite.
Yeah, it's just polite. Yeah, you know, it's like me in the first episode.
Definitely. I hope you're doing well now.
Fine, great.
Today, before we start the episode, we want to talk about something really important, especially about these times, being COVID-19 situation. Everyone is, trying to get back to normal
Yeah,
with masks and everything, but there's an extra step that we can all take, isn't that right?
of course, which is actually taking care of other people, like keeping the safety for other people as well in mind, and just give it more attention.
Of course, yeah. And for that, we have an app that you guys can download. It's the government, I think it's government COVID tracker. That's what it's called. And it doesn't really track you guys. You can just download it. There's no tracking on location. It connects Bluetoothly, and then it kind of connects to other devices that's around you, detects them. In the unfortunate case, if someone has COVID, they will be given a code, and then they enter it through the app, and then it will notify all of you. It's just an extra step to take, so to make sure that you are being safe, your loved ones are safe, families, friends,
Yeah, so,
we
so,
can
so
all do
basically,
it.
let's say for example, I was infected by COVID later, like after this meeting, for example.
Mm.
According to what I understand, it's gonna send notifications if I enter that code. It's gonna send notifications for everybody who was with me during that
Yeah.
day, or like for the past maybe 14 days or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you said, it's just it doesn't have any,
Tracking or location.
yeah,
thing.
exactly. So yeah, it's actually a good step that everybody can take, especially that a lot of people now are predicting a second wave. Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
But yeah, we must take more steps,
Yeah.
towards being safe.
like if we can do better,
Exactly.
why not?
Exactly.
So let's try all to as many people as we can. Let's try to make them download it. Let people that let your loved ones know that you have downloaded this app. Let them download it as well on their phones, just to make sure that they're safe. Also, if the government really wants to track you, they can use other stuff. other
Exactly.
than
They
the
can do
app.
other stuff. Yeah. They
I
can be
think-
better at that.
I think that rings some bells for you. If you remember last week, we were sitting at a coffee shop, and then we mentioned a couple stuff, and then you were getting messages.
It's crazy. Like you were asking me for interior cleaning for a car, and then all of a sudden, at the same spot in the same moment, I received a notification from a shop that actually does that, and we were like, okay, it's like momental, like it's in the same moment, like it doesn't even take any time for them to know what you're actually
And it
talking
happened
about.
it happened for different stuff. I couldn't recall what other stuff
Yeah,
we were talking
yeah, it
about.
happened the
But
second time. I believe cars. One of the cars
Yeah.
that we mentioned.
yeah, as well. And then you
Anyways.
received a message from the dealer.
Anyways, we all know that, like it's now
Oh,
it's
yeah.
something that we all know, but there's nothing that we can do about.
No, there's nothing that we can do about it. Let's get right into the topic of the episode as well. Because if we want to talk about this stuff, we're going to take the whole episode talking about
Exactly.
it. Today, we're going to talk mostly about investments and internship.
Yes, of course.
And we have a great guy for that.
Which is
Nabil.
Nabil Rostum.
How's it going, Nabil?
Hi. Good, great to be here.
Thank you very much for being here. Let's hit it from the top. So, who is Nabil, first of all?
Well, who's Nabil? He's an international business student,
Perfect. Which school?
Carleton University. Well, at Sprott School. They try to diverse themselves from Carleton University for some reason.
So Sprott School is the business school.
It's the business school, yes.
It's
at
like the
Carleton.
international business school, right? Okay.
And I'm also minoring in Mandarin Chinese.
Wow.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow.
But that came later on.
So when you say minoring, you mean like subjects that don't like doesn't have like they don't have to do anything with your major, or like it's all interconnected, like how...
It is interconnected, but there's a little bit extra for it to be a minor, because as an international business student you have to learn another language other than the languages you already know.
Mhm.
So I took that opportunity to make it a minor, which is just taking a couple of classes more about culture, about investments, about about the country.
So like the actual subjects that you study are in Chinese, or like you study Chinese language as a
In
separate
Chinese, yeah. Everything in that minor is in Chinese.
in that minor.
Yeah.
Or like you still study something like in like international business subjects in English.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now it makes more sense. And Sprott School, is it like something that's different than Carleton, or it's part of Carleton, or like
It is
what's
a
the story
faculty-
behind that?
It's a faculty in Carleton
Mhm.
that was built by a person who used to go at Carleton named Eric Sprott.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting to know.
And
Because like a lot of people don't know, like me personally, and a lot of people, we know that there is something called Sprott School, and it's
Yeah.
actually in Carleton, but we don't know any idea about like what is it and how to get in, and what's the difference.
Yeah.
Like, why was it made in the first place? Is it same as law school, or like if you can elaborate more on what's the point
It's-
beside it?
so that guy named Eric Sprott used to be an investor, a hedge fund manager or something like that, and he used to invest his money into gold.
Interesting.
So he made tons and tons of money out of gold, and he decided to give back to the school and made the faculty, and it was named after him as Sprott School. And he pushed the idea of just branding it by itself, of making it an elitist type of faculty in Ottawa. And he succeeded for some time until the gold crashed at one point.
When was that?
I'm not sure, actually. But after it crashed, the school or the board of managers decided to diversify the account, not just go to gold. It's very risky to have all your money in one thing.
Definitely.
So they tried to diversify the account, but he refused. And after he refused, it was like, okay, no more money for you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
so they were funded by some.
They were funded by him exclusively and his hedge fund.
Okay.
That is all based on gold.
Mhm.
But after the crash, they were needed money. They needed to do some risk management.
Mhm.
So they tried to diversify their accounts, but he refused, and so they don't get
stopped funding.
they don't get any more money from him, and so it just went back down. And now they're picking back up after that.
So like, what's the
Small fights.
difference between like a student studying in like a Sprott School, while like another student that's just taking business?
It's the international opportunities that they provide as
Okay.
an only international business. Like for example, Sprott has three bachelors that they offer.
Mhm.
Think finance and Bachelor of Commerce and international business.
Mm-hmm.
You would see, if you look at the pictures of their graduation pictures, you would see that like the class of, let's say, 2018 is like around 100 people for Bachelor of Commerce, but for international business they're like 5.
Oh wow.
Because like what you mentioned about learning a different language, it's not easy. Like
Yeah.
it's like, I'm impressed because was it your choice that you picked Chinese, or like what were the options? And
They had Japanese, German, I believe they have Spanish, French.
Oh.
Most people go into French, because we're in Canada and it's easy.
Right.
But it's not really a challenge. Most people go into French.
Especially if it's your second language here, and
Exactly.
then you learned it in school. So.
Exactly. When they go into French, they're not benefiting out of their program.
No, it's like paying money for learning something that you already know.
Exactly.
But what made you go into Chinese exactly?
I mean, I always knew I wanted to be in international business.
Mm.
I wanted to be that guy that travels all the time. Hence my interests are revolving around that.
Mhm.
But given the current circumstances of the world, one has when you want to decide which major you want to go into, you try to see how is the world moving, where is it moving towards, and I've seen that the world is definitely moved and is still moving towards Chinese investment.
Definitely.
And I saw the opportunity there because our Western world, or let's say also our Middle Eastern world, know nothing about the Chinese culture.
No.
And in business, you need to know the other person. You need to know what he means when he says something.
FYI, some people still like have the idea that China is not like the country. We would call them all Chinese, just like every Asian. It's like that's how ignorant we are on the Chinese culture.
Exactly. Like to that point, you're not able to differentiate a Chinese from a Japanese.
Definitely.
Even though there's clear
There's
signs
a
of
big
differentiation,
difference.
not only in culture, like in actual appearance.
Yeah.
Like you would see like a Chinese would
Easy.
have a more round face, where
Yeah.
Japanese would have a more of a Western style.
Yeah.
And like to that point, we can't even differentiate their faces from each other.
Yeah, we're just like
We know nothing about them,
nothing.
and that's where the opportunity lies.
But like, I mean, it's not only about China. Like even let's say if a Canadian, like, I think it's gonna be hard for him or her to actually differentiate, for example, Syrians from Lebanese, from Egyptians. Like we Arabs, we actually know how to actually know and like we can differentiate these countries.
to
but
some
like,
point.
To some point, to some point. But I mean, that like because I actually wanted to ask you a question. Where did you first, like, let's just take a step back. Where did you how did you actually develop your interest in international business in the first place? Secondly, in China as a country.
Well, my interest in international business was, sprung out of a story of a journey of my childhood to my teenage years to my university years, of us being moved every.
So like you're a travel, like since
So
So I've never been like in the same country for more than 4 years.
wow.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Except for my childhood, but I mean,
Like after
yeah,
moving from one country to another.
exactly. So we just moved every couple of years, and that was due to just economic circumstances, cultural circumstances, just different reasons. And that made me always have, I would pride myself in saying that I would always knew the difference between the Western cultures and the Middle Eastern cultures. I will see myself having or knowing how to deal with both, or knowing the differences. Like when you know the differences between both, you start to understand yourself and the world more.
Of course.
So traveling, made me understand more about who I am and what the world is.
Interesting. Why China? Because I mean like there are a lot of other countries that are actually as great as China when it comes to economics.
Well, look, for two reasons. First, my interest in knowing about cultures, which sprung from my childhood, and the second is because I did my studies and tried. Well, fun fact would be that I first learned Russian.
Oh,
because I wanted to learn about Russia.
interesting.
And I did. I know how to read Russian right now. I know a couple words.
Do they have like a different alphabet? Or
The
something?
alphabet is crazy.
Okay.
They have backwards R's and weird.
Yeah.
It's called the Cyrillic alphabet.
Is it like from the Latin? Like
No,
the-
no.
Like it's
No,
from the
it
same
doesn't
group.
really tell them things.
It doesn't
Different from
really-
different family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And it's a weird, and actually it's it has some Latin words in it. Like for example, like there's policia, but you need like if you read the Russian word, you can approximate it to languages you already know,
And the dialogue.
but you
really
need to read
sounds
it first.
The dialogue really sounds different.
Yeah, the grammar structure is pretty close to Arabic, and,
Oh, really?
and like it's between Arabic and Latin grammar structures.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
well,
but I learned like after I learned Russian, which was I think it was 15, 16, something like that.
interesting.
Yeah, I when I say learned, you know, attempting to learn.
Yeah, like
Because I
like
didn't find
took
any
some
Russian
actual
people.
steps.
Yeah, I
That's
didn't
what-
find any Russian people around me to actually practice my language with,
Mhm.
and
And was
that
it-
was challenging, and I lost the ability to speak it after
Okay.
that, and in that period we went to Lebanon, we lived there, you know, and then I finished my high school there. Now it was time to come back to Canada
Mhm.
for university. So I sat down. I was like, okay, I learned Russian. That got me nowhere. What other culture I wanted to be? I was thinking about Turkish first.
Okay,
So-
that's pretty close to Arabic as
Yeah,
well.
because it was close to Arabic. I love the Turkish culture
Love it.
and their food, which is mostly our
Yeah.
food too. You know?
Actually,
Yeah.
if you speak Turkish, you actually look like a Turkish person.
Yeah,
You kind of.
we all kind of do.
Yeah, but more than us both. Like,
Yeah, exactly. That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Like your name in Turkish should be Nabil Rostum. That's how they say it. They speak in like in a strong way, you know.
yeah. But actually, that's my next goal. Like after Chinese,
Turkish.
which is like in 10 years, 20, 15 years after I'll be fluent in Chinese, I'll definitely move towards Turkish. I love it. It would be a hobby by then. It wouldn't be a career. But
It's a very nice place, by the way. Like Turkey, going there. I know someone. Like, I don't know them personally, but it's a friend of my dad who recently moved from Canada to Turkey. And my dad was calling him the other day, and he was like, "Are you planning to come back to Canada?" He's like, "There's no way for me to come to Canada. Like, it's way better than here. Like, you wake up every morning to like amazing scenery. Like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not coming back here."
definitely fits our climate palette.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're not about the cold.
No.
We need the sun.
I spoke before about it in the podcast that I like it cold.
Yeah.
So
Oh really?
yeah, I do.
Yeah, but like I mean, cold is a thing, and -40 is a different.
Yeah,
thing.
it's a different thing. Yeah,
Exactly.
getting stuck outside.
Yeah.
No.
So regarding China, how like on a scale from 1 to 10, where would you see yourself now in terms of how fluent you are in the language?
In terms of 1 to 10,
Yeah.
I would say a 4.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
It takes a long time because
Yeah.
it is like there's the thing about Chinese. There's no alphabet.
No.
Really? Like
Yeah.
all
If
these
you would-
lines and painting stuff like that. There's
There's
no
no
alphabet.
That's
alphabet.
not an alphabet. It's like
It's a character.
Exactly.
So if you give me a Chinese text right now,
Mhm.
if I didn't study every single character in that text, I would not be able to know what it means.
Definitely.
It's like you need to learn every single word in English. But if you think about it, what's the point of reading the word if you don't know what it means?
Definitely. There's no point.
So it's the same thing in the end.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
heard-
actually
I
a good
heard
point.
this
That's
one of
actually a
them.
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard it's one of the most difficult languages to learn.
Yeah.
But it takes I believe everything by time. Like everything will happen.
Mm.
You just gotta take the right time
Exactly.
to put some effort as well to learn.
And you need the environment around you
Oh,
to
definitely.
help you. Like when I've studied for 2 years Chinese, and then I went to China.
Oh, so you've
For
actually
3 months.
you've been there.
Yeah, I've went there.
Okay.
I went on a language and cultural exchange over there. It was only I think 3 months.
That's actually interesting. We need to talk
That's-
more about that.
yeah,
'cause
I need-
about
I
like
need to-
experience in
I need
China.
to hear about this.
Yeah, but the point is that I've studied for 2 years Chinese here in Canada,
Mm.
and my Chinese was, let's say, was about a 2 out of 10. And then when I went there,
It jumps.
it just doubled
Yeah.
because I was forced to speak it. You would, because they don't speak English over there.
No.
If you wanted to eat that day, you have to speak what you want to eat.
Yeah.
So you're forced to say what you wanted.
That's interesting. You know, putting yourself on the spot.
Yeah. Like, for example, here, if you wanted to navigate to any, let's say, a mall, you would open your Google Maps. Okay, if you're French, you would just change the language to French. If you're Spanish, change the language to Spanish.
Mhm.
But over there, they're all Chinese. They don't even need.
There's
they don't
no
need it.
map. Yeah.
They don't need that option.
No.
So they, all of their maps, everything on the internet, every single sign in the street is all in Chinese.
Mhm.
So you would, and you again, you can't read it unless you know the character.
Oh,
So every single day, the moment you get out of the house,
that's
you're learning every single word along the street.
Wow.
Because and it's not like you read it and then you learn it. You read it, you open your phone, you search it up, you know what that means, and then it's stuck in your head.
Yep.
It's you know, it's the way our brain works. We adapt to our environment.
Because like I have a question here. Like a lot of people say it's better for you to actually be ready for such a travel and get yourself fully loaded with information and language assets and stuff like that, while other people say just throw yourself there and you'll actually get ahead with like you will get along with everything there. Like which mindset would you actually advise these people who are just getting into Sprott school when it comes to traveling? Like I mean, going to the UK is absolutely different than going to China for the first time.
Definitely.
Big jump.
Same for other countries. Would you say it was something that you suggest other people doing? Like because you said I was 2 out of 10, which is below average if you want to go to a new country like by yourself. So would you say like just throw yourself there and you'll find your way, or no? You know what? It was better if I've done it like a year after.
It's definitely doing like the experience I went through is definitely not for everybody. It's for those who are passionate about what they do, what they want, and if they take pride in hardship, you know. And I would say that I would have done it earlier if I could.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. But again, you have to go through the systematic way of teaching before you go there, because you need to learn some cultural basis, some ways of communication, how to get a taxi. For example, taxis there are big frauds. You know, they try to scam you on every single corner.
So you said people who like the challenge. What type of challenges? Like
the challenge of going somewhere or doing something you know nothing about, and then emerging out of this other side a different person with a whole different mindset and a new experience.
Definitely. Yeah.
And that is who I am. If something I know nothing about, and I want to know about it, or there's something there for me to know to learn, I just throw myself in there and just see what happens. And I'm okay with myself knowing that whatever happens there is because I took that first decision. So let's say if I like die over there, for example, let's say I'm satisfied, you know, because I took that initial decision to jump in there.
what was the thing that you hated the most?
That I hated the most? I don't want to say that in these
Like
moments.
okay.
We're prepared to take the heat, huh?
Yeah, like let's remove the word hated. What's the thing that you found actually, like what was the hardest thing that you faced there?
Well, I went there during Ramadan.
Oh, it's a month of fasting. Come on. Can't do that.
I went there during Ramadan, and the fact that, like, okay, to put it simply, the food over there is just not our food.
I was gonna ask you.
It's just not our food.
About food.
And then don't get me wrong, it's not that. Just again, misconceptions about their culture.
By the way, it's different.
Yeah, again, like their misconception about their food is that they eat crickets and they eat flies and whatever, these disgusting things. The fact is they don't. Only certain provinces on a small scale, and some of them are actually delicacies that they eat sometimes. But their main dishes are noodles and rice with meat and vegetables. That's the main dish, and it varies all over their cuisine.
Mhm.
But the thing is, the way they kill their animals, like to eat, is not clean. They don't drain the blood.
Also,
They eat every part of the animal, whatever it is. So you would find, let's say, if you wanted to eat duck meat, you would find blood in there. That is in the vein.
Oh, so
That is still, and because they don't care,
they just
eat.
kill and put it.
I mean, like their bodies are actually like they I think their bodies are not as sensitive as our bodies when it comes to food, because they like their body are like they've been eating the same food for like the entire life.
They've gotten used to it, like over generations and over like genetics really plays.
I mean, because they used to be very, very poor people.
Yeah,
and that's not very long ago.
No,
they used to starve to death.
Yeah, it wasn't.
That's where their cuisine comes from, is that they don't care what they eat; they just want to eat.
They just want to survive.
Exactly.
Like,
so,
but why has that not changed? Like, because now it's not.
It's now part of their cuisine.
Oh, okay.
So they still eat chicken feet as a delicacy.
Wow.
There's no meat in chicken feet.
No.
There's no nutritious value in chicken feet.
No.
But it's because they don't need to eat it anymore. It's now a delicacy.
Mm-hmm.
Something they eat casually, and it's very expensive. By the way, there's a Chinese man who came to Canada here. Here in Canada they just throw out the feet.
Oh.
Or they grind them up and they feed them to other animals. But he took the chicken feet here, which gets them for cents on the dollar, and he sold them to China for more.
Wow.
Filthy rich.
That's like a first example of somebody actually getting something from Canada and selling it in China. Like it's actually interesting,
Exactly.
It's always happened like the opposite way.
And that's the thing. He profited out of his knowledge, out of culture.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
You see my point?
Yeah. Now I see the point.
So the difference in culture, we don't value, like the Russians did that too to the British. That's why caviar is a delicacy in our Western world.
Definitely, yeah.
But in Russia, it's poor people's food.
Yeah.
I mean, they get tons and tons of caviar. I mean, now they have higher pallets of caviars. They have more expensive types of caviar,
but before originally,
but back then it used to be very cheap in Russia, yet very expensive in Britain, and somebody profited off of that difference in culture.
One thing that I know of, one example is saffron. You know what saffron is, right? How expensive is it here?
It's more expensive than gold.
Yeah. It's not that expensive in Iran.
I mean, that's where they make it.
That's where they make it.
Exactly.
And it's like they put it with mostly everything.
Yeah.
Mostly.
It's very, very beneficial.
I love their food, man.
Yeah.
I've gone, their sweets are different. Like, they're really good.
Really?
Yeah. Like, if I ever get something, I'm gonna invite you guys over to just like even try them.
I'll be the first one.
There's the sweets. They put even the saffron in sweets.
Yeah.
And I've tasted some.
So there's if you're asking like, is it like really hard or is it just like is it hard sweet or
No, it's creamy sweets.
Creamy.
Yeah, they put saffron in it. It's really nice.
What's it called?
I'm not sure what it's called. I've tasted it once.
Is it like white creamy?
Yeah, it is. Really.
Yeah, I know.
It's
I know
a bit yellow too.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. What was it called? Oh, yeah, you're not. Okay.
You can ask Google, by the way.
No, it wouldn't know.
It wouldn't know?
No, it's a very I don't think it would know.
I mean, sweets that include saffron, maybe.
They don't normally put it in like in that exact. I'm interested how you got it with saffron.
I'm not sure.
Because I'm pretty sure they put pistachio with it.
Really?
Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
So, like, what did you eat the first day?
Where, in China?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't eat.
Oh,
Wow.
That's the point.
How did you survive?
Well, no. Yeah, the first day I did eat. Yeah, we had they called what do they call it? Baozi. Balodze is like a big dumpling
Mhm.
that is made out of bread, but they have vegetables in it. It was really good. You know, it was first introduction to their food. It was good. I was
Okay.
like, okay, a bit too much bread for me, but
But
it's
hey,
good. Yeah,
There's
I
a lot
ate
of
it.
vegetables.
Yeah, they eat a lot of vegetables,
Yeah, that's
and
amazing.
their food is always watery and rich in fats.
Definitely
It's very healthy. Their food is very healthy.
it is.
When it comes to vegetables and stuff like that, but you
When it comes to the whole everything, like they have
because you mentioned earlier that they sometimes they leave the blood and
in terms of
Yeah, but
in terms of meat, they're not very clean.
Okay,
in
okay.
meat.
just wanna
That's a
like
detail,
yeah,
Like
just
for
like
wanna-
in the
example,
meat, yeah.
in the Middle East, they make sure there's no blood in the meat,
Yeah.
like or in the veins. They cut the meat in a certain way so it would be lean. You know?
Yeah.
yeah,
and-
it's actually a specific procedure that we have.
Yeah, and we have different kind of meats for different kinds of foods, But there, it's all the same meat. I'm generalizing again. I'm generalizing,
Mostly.
Yeah. but yeah, the food was a struggle.
Mhm.
Plus, they would say like, okay, I don't eat pork,
Right.
so I try to ask them that if this dish has pork in it, and they would say no, it doesn't have pork. I was like, okay.
And then
It's like what fried rice, and they said like a meat fried rice. And I would say, does this have pork in it? They say no. So I order it, and I find meat in it, and that happens not only once, like 5 or 6 times. And I'm like, what is this? And it's like rice. I'm like, no, what is this? Like, oh, that's pork. It's like, didn't I tell you that I don't eat pork and I don't want pork in my food? He's like, yeah, but it has a little bit of pork. A little bit of pork is no pork for them. A little bit of something
Yeah.
is insignificant.
Oh, it's actually interesting
That's-
to know about the culture.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Again, another example, and that always hit me. So again, the next time I order it,
Mhm.
I say, does it have pork in it? She says no. I said, not even a little. And if she says no, then I order it. And when they say no, they know what they're talking about.
I got you.
Yeah.
Did you find anything related to business studies or international business, like in China, in your trip?
In my trip, in terms of business,
Mhm.
not really, because it was education based,
I see.
trip. But I was supposed to go, before COVID happened.
I see.
Yeah, for a job over there, but that didn't happen.
Thank you, COVID.
Thank you, COVID.
Definitely. Really want to touch base about a little bit about investments
Mhm.
now. Where do you see the market going in Canada right now?
Canada after COVID.
Yeah.
Well, I would say we have to thank God every day that we're in this country.
Yep.
Because if you would have chosen anywhere to be in the world after COVID, you would definitely choose Canada.
Oh yeah, we didn't get affected that much. Like we got affected, but like
Yes,
to a
but
point.
because they spent so much money on giving. They spend so much money on the people. They spend so much money to keep businesses afloat.
Mhm.
That's all going to come back in the future,
It will.
or at least recover some of it in the future. Unlike other people who close down their businesses, can't operate anymore, have other things to worry about. If any economy is going to recover out of COVID, it would be the
Canadian economy. Yeah.
Why would that? Why do you think would it be this case? Because, I mean, we closed everything like for 4 months. Like that was
Yeah.
actually a long period of time.
But the money was still coming in. People were still able to open their shops and businesses.
I mean, you still had some money to spend at that time.
yeah,
Not yourself, but like
Yeah, not
some
myself.
people. Some
Not
people.
myself, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but some people did have some money to spend, which is a good sign, like instead of I mean,
I mean, again, it would be that we're We're what? 37 million?
Yeah,
Canadians?
what that?
37 million with
Maybe that's a good
a
question to ask
huge
Google.
a huge land.
What would you say? 37?
I don't know.
I would say 40.
40 million? I don't
Yeah,
know.
40 million. 37?
I don't know.
Just give a number.
I'm just gonna be some number in between. Okay, 35.
35?
Yeah. Hey Google, what's the population of Canada?
In 2019, the population of Canada was 37,589,000.
You got it, Nabil.
Thank you.
That's why we have Google here.
Yeah. Okay, 37 million, yeah.
37 million.
So yeah, we're 37 million people with a huge amount of land and riches. So
Yeah.
there's still so much untapped potential.
Oh, definitely.
So much untapped potential.
Like, I don't know why I have this feeling that always, like, that's always in my mind that everything here happens slowly. When it comes to like, for example, I have an example that I wanted to mention. I believe I talked about previously. It's Freedom, the company Freedom, which was previously Wind. This company was just a startup when they opened, and then one of the international investors, Rustom, I believe that the company was named. They wanted to invest in wind, and they actually brought like millions of dollars. Wanted to bring millions of dollars into the Canadian economy, but like in return they would own 75% of the company. So the wind would be more of an international business operating in
Instead
Canada
of-
than like a local business. But like all of a sudden they after the deal was closed, the Canadian government stopped everything and actually didn't allow these like foreign investors to bring their money in,
That's
because I believe because they're not up to financial challenges as the US is. So this is why I have this feeling that I always think about which is if anything is gonna happen here in Canada, it's gonna take a long time to be processed for the papers for.
but hey, like we like to stay on the safe side of
Mhm.
things. That's the thing about us.
There's a lot of bureaucracy that goes to achieving anything. There's
Yeah.
systems that they put in place. There's laws that they put in place. And you have to go through all the steps that are previously written.
Mm.
You can change with the steps. That's a good thing. You know, you can expedite some things. You can challenge some of these laws
Yeah.
and
All the
bureaucracies.
time. All the time.
But again, let's go back to the example of the difference between cultures and systems and governments. China built a hospital in 10 days during COVID.
Yep.
It's not because they have money. It's because they don't need the bureaucracy. The government says build a hospital there.
They built a hospital.
They build a hospital there. No questions asked.
Yeah, I mean,
when it comes to Canada,
yeah.
you need to go through a lot of paperwork, through a lot of decision making, and that's good, but it's slow. Again, another example would be the train here in Ottawa.
Yeah, which we have a lot of problems
They
with.
spend, I think, what, $2.8 billion
Mhm.
on this, what, I think 4 kilometers worth of LRT,
Right?
and it took them 4 years, maybe 5 years. Again, I don't know the details, but it took them a long time to build that small strip of train. Where in China, that same one would take them 2 days, maybe 3 days
Yep.
to build it.
Exactly. That's my point, because if you want to invest in China, you can actually invest there. You can bring your money in and you can work when it comes to economy.
Definitely.
While in Canada,
It's more like a lean country towards that.
Exactly.
I mean, here we have the ability to do these stuff. We have the laws to protect us, but it takes time. Again, it's part of the process. It's part of who we are. We can either make it better, accept it, and attempt to make it better. That's all we can do, honestly.
Always.
But that's part of the safety that we value so much.
Yeah,
the
well, it
bureaucracy
has-
is part of the safety we value so much.
Well, it has
where-
its pros and cons.
Exactly. Yeah.
Always. Definitely. One of the things that really happened, I think, when COVID started, one of the things that happened when COVID started was they withdrew some students, some medical students to hospitals as well when they needed them. So I feel that like they knew how to play it at that time.
Yeah.
So
They again, the reason for this fast decision, that it seems that it's a fast decision, that it's pre-made.
It
That
wasn't-
decision is pre-made.
it wasn't a
because-
fast decision though. Like if you remember, like the risk of getting COVID like to Canada was clear, and then we didn't lock the country till the first person tested positive,
Yeah, but these procedures were already predetermined.
and that's
Because I've during the
but there
the
was
lockdown,
no testing. Like
during the lockdown, I was working with the CMR project in Carleton, which is the business management and recovery project. They help businesses recover out of COVID. So part of that was a course that was teaching us how to manage risk and manage and expedite recovery after any type of disaster,
right.
from a small epidemic to a zombie attack or an alien attack. You know, they actually have a zombie attack procedure plan. It's for fun, but it's
Like you mean
It's
they
there.
went to that extent, you know?
Yeah.
Which is
it's
crazy.
in the government.
Yep.
So
So when you say it's pre-made, like they studied that
Like
such
there was a plan.
such a thing like COVID might happen, and then what to do, and first step and second step, stuff like that.
yeah, so the prof was showing us a procedure plan from 2008.
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Don't worry. He broke the microphone, so go ahead. Again.
Yeah.
So the prof was telling us was showing us actually a procedure plan that was put there in 2008. Again, I believe in 2008, but he was reading it to us about what would Canada do in
In
terms of a pandemic or an epidemic. It was for an epidemic. I think it was for SARS or something. And he was reading it, and he was like, "Does this sound any familiar?" And we were like, "Yeah, we think this is like we believe this was put in place like yesterday for COVID-19." It was like,
Wow.
"No, this was put in 10 years ago." Of Trudeau coming every day and talking, that is a decision that is pre-made of how to lock down people, what messages and where the messages would appear, ad campaigns on YouTube, on Facebook,
Yep.
on the TV, influencers who already sign papers that they are at the government's disposal in terms of information spreading.
Wow, I'm actually
how
impressed.
how the airports would manage such a thing. What lines of travel would be cut off. All that is predetermined, and everything that is variable is mentioned that this is variable.
I see.
And that's the thing. They try to, with that all that bureaucracy that is put in place, comes a benefit that they plan for everything. They even have a plan for nuclear fallout. They have a plan again for a zombie attack for some reason. They have a plan for economic crash. They have a plan for almost everything. Again, you can't think of everything,
No,
but better be prepared. And be sorry.
of course. And let me be clear here. Like in Canada, we handled it the best way. Like we didn't have chaos. We didn't have crazy things happening. I mean, some places in the U.S., like some places got robbed because of what happened.
Yeah.
Like literally, people would go into rob places and rob. I mean, yes, it was also Black Lives Matter movement as well, but that was the thing that happened. But during COVID as well, because COVID I think made it worse for people, where they really took advantage of everything and then went through stores and stuff.
Yeah, if you allow me, I want to get back to the question about market in Canada and like its direction. I know, Ahmed, you work in a bank, and I think you have
Yeah.
this knowledge about like investing in stocks and stuff like that. So Me, like as a person who like
I'm a little student now. Like
Yeah, but I
wouldn't-
mean, like, I
wouldn't,
mean-
talk about it so much.
yeah.
But yeah, like I'm trying to invest.
That's the
in
thing.
some
Like
stocks,
like
so-
for me as a person, I always have this like I'm always afraid of actually downloading these apps and buying stocks and stuff like that. It's a complete confusion for me, because like I downloaded an app like 2 years ago. I'm not gonna mention the name, but like it was supposed to be a good app, and till this day, every week I receive a call from them asking me to invest, and I don't know what the hell is happening. I didn't know how to buy stocks. I don't know where to sell them. I have literally zero idea of investing.
A bank. Go through a bank, nothing else.
Yeah, I knew you would say that, but like even through banks, like I don't know how things work. Like is the bank
No.
like do they buy stocks for you, or do you buy them?
Depending. Okay, so depending on the type of, first of all, depending on the bank that you're going for, the financial institution, because you can go with an investor as well.
Mhm.
But that's if you're investing. It
Mutual
wouldn't
funds.
be. Well, mutual funds is part of it as well, but sometimes you can pay someone to invest for you.
Yeah.
But that's even like
Through a bank, in the bank.
Through,
You pay someone in the bank to invest for you.
well, I think there's investors outside as well, but those people are different as well. Like it's a bit different, and then depending on the amount that you're investing as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely.
let's say I have $100 and I want to invest in something. Like, what's the first step that I would take?
Well, let's say if you have 200% return on your investment with $100,
That's $200.
yeah, that's $200. You know, that is something, but it's not a lot.
Yeah, but like I mean, regardless the
That's-
number,
that's-
like what's the
that's-
steps, the procedure that we go through when it comes to buying stocks and selling stocks?
Yeah, here's the thing. So like I'm really I don't know. I'm really bad at this, but like I'm not using my bank to invest. I'm using a third party thing
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't charge me anything unless I want to do some US stocks, which I'm getting to in a second. But yeah, like I invest in myself without my bank being involved as well. Even though like I work in a bank. But I feel
Well,
like
that's
the-
actually an
the
interesting
freedom-
point. You say like you're actually investing without a bank, and then you're saying just go for the bank.
Yes.
That's the first thing you said.
Yes. If you're willing to
Looks like a
gamble,
fight.
if you're willing, no, if you're willing to gamble with your money a lot,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, okay, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Why not the bank?
Why not the bank? There's a reason I really cannot say because I don't want to be fired. Just joking. No.
Cut the scene. Okay.
Cut the scene. No,
Yeah.
no, we're good. No,
Why the bank?
Why the bank?
Yeah, I
tell
mean
you
like why the bank?
I have. Okay,
because
I'll tell you why the bank.
there's some advisors that we really would put you on the right track. Like depending on how much you're trying to risk as well. Like, are you trying to put really high risk into your money, or you're trying to put a medium risk, put a low risk? They would really advise you to the point that let you know, oh, this plan is better for you, or these stocks are better for you because they're lower risk
Mm-hmm.
as well. If you
Okay,
see
so
what I
so
mean.
like when it comes to advice.
Not only advice. Here's the thing. So your transactions as well is protected within a bank,
Mhm.
depending on really whatever you do. Here's the thing that people don't know. Do you know about CDIC?
CDIC?
Okay, it's the insurance on your deposits.
Okay.
For an example, people don't know that you got an insurance on your deposit. Every bank is entitled to these deposits. They have an insurance on it. Like I know a friend, and I'm talking to you guy right now, dude. Like just go to the court and do it. Like he got his account hacked, and for some way they made it that he didn't have an account there. In a way, it doesn't show that he had an account there. He had 10 grand in that account, and for some reason he's really really lazy about going to I don't know. Like if I lost $10, I would go crazy. So,
Yeah,
so I don't know why he doesn't go and then, go to the court and get his money, because I don't know what he's worried about. The bank will get their money back. By the way,
Mhm.
they know how to get their money back.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get your money back. So go.
like I
and
mean,
then-
before diving in and why the bank, why not the bank, I just want to understand the simple idea of investing. How to buy stock.
Well,
That's a question.
Go ahead.
I would say that us two, again, I'm not an expert. I'm merely talking out through experience, and
Same.
and even with that, not huge amount of experience, but a pretty huge chunk of my life. Investing, there's two types of investing.
All right.
Actually, three types of investing.
Now we talk. Now we talk.
Okay.
Okay.
There's
I'm all ears.
there's forex, which is currencies, foreign
Mhm.
exchange.
Okay.
There's commodities, which are like natural gas, oil, cocoa beans, rice, all these agricultural stuff, and there's stocks, which are companies.
Right.
So stocks are basically percentages of companies.
Yeah,
Mm.
they're shares of a company.
Yeah.
Shares. Okay.
No,
Like for
sometimes-
example,
I wouldn't
Apple.
call it percentage. Yeah.
Yeah, it's shares of companies that when they make profit, they give
Yep.
you dividends. They might not give you dividends.
Depending
depends.
on your
So when you invest in gold, it doesn't have anything to do with
No, it
investment in
doesn't.
stocks and
That's
stuff like
not
that.
stocks.
Like three types now. You said the first one was
currencies.
currencies and
And the second one is actually not currencies. It's the difference in currencies.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
And the second one is commodities, which are
Mhm.
just agricultural and anything that is
Perfect. Mhm.
tangible.
Tangible. Yeah. And the third thing being
And the third thing would be stocks.
stocks. Okay.
Now,
Stocks.
in forex or in currencies, there's not a lot of money in terms
There's not a lot of return, basically.
not a lot of return,
Yeah.
but it's not a long-term investment.
No.
That's not where, if you want to invest your money, you don't invest it in a currency. Some people keep their money, let's say, in euros because they feel that the European Union may be more stable than any other place in the world. So
So
they keep
you
their
would
money.
consider Bitcoin being one of these examples of people making money and profit out of
Bitcoin is very volatile. I don't even consider it as an investment. It's just it's a fling.
It's a
It's-
very new thing. as
It's
well.
and Bitcoin goes up and down $2,000 a day. You would lose your life savings with that. Imagine just putting your money up in the air and expecting it to go and come back just through air.
exactly.
Sometimes it would just
Like, I
fly
mean, a
away, and
lot
sometimes
of
it would come
people-
back.
A lot of people do it.
Yeah.
Did it. Like if it was me, that people like me who have no idea about investment, I would definitely go for it when it comes to because a lot of people are when the Bitcoin hit everybody, I was like I wish I had some Bitcoins, like
The golden rule in investment is high risk, high reward. Low risk, low reward.
Mhm.
That's the golden rule. What type, do you have money to risk right now? Do you want, if you have $10,000,
That's a question.
are you willing to
To
lose it right now? Like once you put that money over there, you should have the intention in yourself that you're not getting it back.
Yeah, that's a
That's
You
like
would
generally, or like when it comes
No,
to
that's-
currencies.
Generally in investing,
investments.
it should not be your primary source. Some people do make it their primary source. I'm not talking about, I'm talking about the general,
And that's
public.
I think what I told you, and I wanted to say it as well. Thank you that you said it. Like if you go with a higher risk, your return will be higher.
Yeah, but again,
Definitely.
it would your loss would be higher.
Exactly.
So like the same percentage of benefit you would get is the same. That's like the same advantage that you get is the same disadvantage that you might lose.
Exactly. So what do you say, like, for a beginner who has no experience in that? What do you say, like, just go for stocks? stuff
Low
like
risk, low reward. That's
Like-
we're young, we're inexperienced, and we need money. And we don't have a lot of it right now. So
Yeah.
if we
Unless-
have some that we're willing to invest it in low risk, low reward,
Mhm.
something that does not move up and down $2,000 a day.
Would you have an example, like Nabil or Ahmed, an example of
Yeah,
something?
you know, I was gonna disagree with him, right?
You were gonna disagree when
Yeah,
it comes
'cause-
to
Oh, I think we were talking, and then we were talking in a coffee shop, and
About, like,
he said I'm gonna disagree with you a lot. So I disagree with you on one point as well,
Cheers.
which is we're young right now.
Mm-hmm.
I would say for myself, literally, like, that's what I told my parents, because my parents wanted me to help them invest, and I was like, you don't really want me to invest your money, because I gamble with it.
Yeah.
I literally gamble my money,
It should be your money.
and like, I really go with higher risks because I think that I'm young right now. I can make that money back anytime.
Oh, it's a different mindset. It's a
Oh.
complete different mindset.
See, that's where we fight a little bit on that. So yeah, because like till this day, I still believe if I lose that money, if I lose $1,000, I'm not gonna have a heart attack.
Well,
Like what you're saying,
it's
what
different
he's
in
saying is,
personality. It's
yeah,
a difference
exactly.
in
What
personality.
he's saying,
again.
he's more of a risk taker.
I go in with a more of a risky company, or like that might, but hey, it doesn't mean like I go in blindly with a risky company. There's a big difference. Okay, so like you gotta study where this company is going, you gotta read a lot, you gotta do a lot of stuff even before going in, but it's still a risky thing to go in as well.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. When you want to invest, okay, you're putting
Right.
in a percentage of the money you have.
Definitely.
At the moment, okay, we don't have a lot of expenses. Okay,
No.
Our capital is very small. So
Definitely.
let's say if I have $10,000, if I'm investing $5,000, I'm investing 50% of my money.
Mhm.
So if I put it in a high risk or a high risk, high reward, and I lose it, I'm losing 50% of my money. Now project that on somebody that is much older with 100%, $100,000 worth of investment.
I
If he
wouldn't-
lost
yeah.
$50,000 in a day, he would be devastated. He would be broke.
But hey, yeah, that's okay. Here's my thing as well, because if you're older, it's more difficult. Like if you're at an age where you have a lot of expenses, you're taking care of a family,
Mhm.
you cannot lose that money.
Exactly.
So that's why I would at that age, like which is an older age, I would go with a low risk, low return.
But if you put yeah, at that
Did
like,
you see my point?
I do see your point.
it's-
But when you invest in a low risk, low return,
Mhm.
it is more guaranteed to have a longer, it would get you a bigger return over a bigger chunk of period of time.
yes,
Let's say you're 20 right now or 25 right now. In 10 years, you're almost guaranteed to have that money. Where
Yeah.
when you're like 50 or 60, you don't have that 10 years to wait.
I see your.
You have the money to lose. You do have the money to lose because you'll have bigger capital.
Mhm.
And
What if
you don't have the time to wait. So that's why you go high risk when you're older. But
Mm-hmm.
when you're younger, if I invest right now in a 10-year mutual fund, in 10 years, I'll look back on myself and I would say thank you, 10 years younger Nabil, for giving me that money in the future because I really needed it.
I honestly go with Nabil's argument more than yours. For
Thank you.
some
Because
for
we have
some
the
reason.
future to look forward.
Exactly.
Definitely two different schools.
Yeah. Again, it's
Yeah,
on the personality.
It is a
It's a
personality.
get rich, get fast one, or getting rich fast, or
Slowly but surely.
delayed satisfaction.
Mhm.
In my opinion, delayed satisfaction is more profitable.
Interesting.
Here's the thing. So like I still like there's a percentage of my money that I go for right now. I have told you like there's like a small percentage, but I'm still like putting that percentage into some investments that are high risk. But like my other money, I'm just like saving it.
Mhm.
So do you agree with me? Sometimes dividing that risk a little bit, like not going for like a really low risk at a young age.
Okay,
I'm
I
trying
get
to
your
meet
point.
him in the
Okay,
middle.
yeah, meeting in the middle.
Yeah.
Meeting in the
Meeting
middle.
in the middle.
Silence. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Usually,
Go ahead.
meeting in the middle between me and me would be finding a stock that gives higher dividends than usual.
The big companies.
Yeah, they're a bit more expensive, but they're more worth it over long term.
And we're not talking about Apple because this is a very basic one. Like that's what
Yeah.
what everyone tells you, either Apple
Don't
or
go over,
Tesla.
don't go after the
Like-
popular ones.
Yeah, that's really popular.
There's a saying that my dad used to say: if it's on the news, it's too late.
Yeah. because you gotta read ahead of
Exactly.
time.
Yeah.
Like it's
Exactly.
you gotta see where this
But like, I mean,
stock is going.
like, it gives you a heart attack if you.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, like if you're watching what's happening with your like $1 million and like every day, every night, and then in one day, I believe it happened with a lot of people, like losing over like hundreds of thousands of dollars in like in a day.
Speaking of losing, we'll go touch back on the point of why a bank and why not a bank.
Yeah.
Say why a bank. Out of not my personal experience,
Go ahead.
but my relatives and my family's experience would be that when they went through a third party in investing, that was before 2008, and for those who know, in 2008 there was a huge economic crash.
Yep.
They had a lot of money in that third party's portfolio, in investing, a lot of money. And when the economic crash happened, that third party
Lost
closed down.
Yeah, of course.
They closed down. They are an investment company. They had their investments in the wrong side of the economic crash, so they closed down, and with it took the money of those who had it with them.
Wow.
So they lost all the money that they invested in that third party. Where, for example, a bank, whatever happens, if I would always say that if a bank closes down, you have much bigger things to worry about because the world is burning.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I mean, let me give an example. So
Go ahead.
I agree with what you said 100%. But let me give Lebanon as an example, because I believe everybody knows what happened with the Lebanese banks 3 or 4 months ago. Even these banks, they closed, and all of the million of dollars that were in Lebanon disappeared in like a matter of seconds.
Well, but here's the thing: everyone saw this years and years ago as well.
Yes.
If you lived in Lebanon, you would have seen this going.
The thing is, Lebanon is an outlier in this case, because the corruption level over there is unimaginable. The reason why the banks don't have money anymore is because they used to give out loans at low interest rates. They used to
Or give loans for anything.
anything. They would just give you money for nothing.
You wanna something
And then-
like a plastic surgery? Sure, we
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah, loans for
Really?
everything.
Oh,
Plus,
Yeah.
the money in the country all goes back to those corrupt people in the
1%.
corrupt people in the
Wow.
government.
Yeah.
And when they felt that the country was getting uneasy, they pulled out their money to outside the country.
I wonder
And
where these millions of dollars
and
are
that-
hidden now.
Again,
Yeah.
that because the banks, they go on fractional.
Oh, FYI, sorry, I cut you off. FYI, it's not only those governments. Like, for God's sake, because I'm Iraqi, I know a little bit about the Iraqi government. Most of people that you see on TV from the Iraqi government have their money in Lebanon. That's
Yeah, like
crazy.
I mean, even Syrian
Syrian
businessmen,
money, yeah.
they kept their money outside Syria, thinking that like Lebanon is a safe
Oh
environment.
yeah, I think
And then they let their money there.
they used to show it in TV shows as well, like or
Yeah.
series or whatever it was.
That's why, like, I mean, even the bank system, like you can't
But I
trust.
mean, that's not the only. They didn't have dollars to give to people, US dollars.
no.
Because if those who know Lebanon, you can go into a grocery shop and
then-
give him $100 US dollars. Give him $100 US dollars
Yeah,
to the grocery shop. You can't do that here in Canada.
no,
You can't go and give him €100 in Walmart. Who'd
Why
spit
was
in
that
your
the
face?
case? Why was that the case in Lebanon?
No, it's always has been the case.
It always has been the case. It would because
You can deal with
Yeah, like
Lebanese.
why? Like
You can deal with Lebanese lira, and then you can deal with US dollars as well.
yeah, but like, what's the point? Like how
No
like how
idea.
did they?
I'm not sure how it started,
I
but
don't
that's the case. You would give him $1, he would give you back 100.
So what you're saying is what you're
Lebanese
saying
pound.
is exactly what you're saying is what happened in Lebanon was like an extraordinary example of
it was
a banking system being corrupt.
not only the banking system, but the US dollar being treated as the Lebanese pound.
Okay, that's why. That's one reason.
The unavailable currency in Lebanon is the US dollar. There's a lot of Lebanese pound.
Yeah.
But
But then when the US dollar disappeared,
exactly.
you
Wow.
can see. Yeah.
When you deal with a currency different than yours, there's no need for the Lebanese pound. Why not just use dollars?
All right. So a question for you, Ahmed,
Go
as
ahead.
somebody who works in a bank in Canada. Let's say, for example, like hopefully this would not happen at any time in the future, but let's say the government changes
Mhm.
and a bad government takes over. Would something similar to what happened in Lebanon happen here in Canada?
No, no, because here banks operate differently as well. Like, yes, we, there's government rules on banks, but it's different. It's more stable.
Like for first thing, we don't use another currency
No,
in the same
that's
country.
the first thing. And even if you want to get like, for God's sake, some people get shocked about why we don't carry other currencies in the bank, and we don't, like, banks don't carry Australian dollars in the bank. The only thing that we carry to an amount which is very small is US dollars, and it's a very small amount. Like,
it's actually interesting, like, because Canada is too close to the United States. Like,
yeah, but here's the thing. So you gotta keep as much as you can. You gotta keep the value of the Canadian money. If you just like give it away, they will go down.
yeah.
And now, if you substitute it with a different currency, there's no value for your currency anymore.
Exactly.
Why use it?
So this would only happen like if a third world war happens or something like that. Like
Then
only
money,
in
the
these
money in
extreme
general, then
situations.
money in general wouldn't be valuable as
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, that's right.
Because
That's right.
it's one of them. I really don't want to say it, but it's Canadian money is like kind of stable. It's not really. It doesn't go up and down high.
Yeah.
Like it's a very small difference
Most currencies,
right now.
known currency like the euro, Canadian, Australian, they're stable because they are stable countries.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the unstable currencies like the Lebanese lira,
Yeah.
it all depends on how the country is doing as politically.
So you guys both lived in Lebanon
Yeah.
previously?
Yeah.
Okay.
You remember what we used to say in Lebanon? If the bread goes up, if the price of bread goes up, the government is gonna crash, or the currency is gonna crash.
Yeah.
And apparently it was one, like, so for bread you get it for $1, right?
Yeah.
If you remember 1,500 lira.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it went up to I think 3,000 or something. So
Yeah.
it's like
Wow.
it's like $2 or something.
Like the first time I went there, I gave him, like, I went to the grocery shop and I bought something.
Mhm.
I gave him it was like I gave him 20,000 Lebanese liras, and the thing I bought was 5,000. So he gave me back $10 US dollars. I was like, what? Why did you give me 10 US dollars? I thought it was
15,000.
that was 15,000. Like, he would give you $10 instead of 15,000.
Yeah.
And I was like, how is this possible? It's the only country in the world. Well, I'm not sure if it's the only country in the world, but I mean,
Yeah.
that
It's the
doesn't
only
happen.
country that I've seen that
Yeah.
does this.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. Why? Like, the only place I saw where you give a different currency is either at an airport
Yes.
or at a
currency
hotel.
exchange sometimes.
Where people don't have the cash.
So, yeah.
But
Like, I mean, now with all like these credit cards and debit cards and bank system, like you can use your credit card anywhere in the world.
yeah, okay,
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's different.
Yeah, but I mean, like you don't really need to exchange your money. Your current.
Yeah, but that exchange happens in the bank.
Oh, so there is.
It's
oh, yeah,
automatic.
yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah,
automatic.
yeah, it happens.
You're
to
still
everybody.
using your own
Okay,
currency. When you pay
Mhm.
in the country
Yeah.
with a credit card, you're still using your own currency.
But
The bank
charges you,
converts it to the country's
Oh.
currency and gives it to them.
depending on your bank, sometimes there's a service charge for that.
Definitely,
as well.
exactly.
Actually, it's interesting. So, like, if I use my credit card in China, let's say I can like that this currency exchange is gonna happen without me even.
Without you
exactly.
even knowing.
Alright, okay.
So I want to a little bit defend myself, because you guys were attacking me on the,
Yeah.
on the bank thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely go, like, if you don't know or you don't want to risk, definitely go with a bank. But what I was implying by investments, I meant pure stock market. Like, you're only putting your money in the stock market.
Mm-hmm.
So if the stock market crashes, your money just crashed as well.
But what if the stock
not gonna
market
get
is
return.
winning? What if the stock
No,
market
what I
is
meant.
winning?
No, what I meant is, okay, because we were talking about investments, and I think I was misunderstood
Mhm.
when I spoke about investments. I meant if you're purely going to invest only in stocks,
Mhm.
If you invest it in a third party or in the bank, they're both linked to the stock market.
Oh, you mean investing in the bank's stock?
Yeah.
No, not
Oh
in
no, no,
advance,
not
through
the
the bank.
stock, through the bank
Through the bank.
to buy stocks.
Like, for example, now, if I wanted to buy stocks, I would open, let's say, my TD account,
Yeah.
and I would go to the TD Waterhouse
Right.
and say, okay, I'll transfer money to this portfolio,
Right.
and then buy money through the TD Waterhouse, buy
Right.
stocks through the TD Waterhouse.
Right.
So when I want to liquidate my assets, they would
No,
go
you didn't.
through to
No,
the.
you didn't get what I mean. So yeah, but like both parties. What I mean is, okay, so a third party would really you just use their system to buy stocks. But if the exact stock loses, I lose and you lose.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, what he's saying, they're the same, like they're both
They are the
connected
same.
to the
Yeah.
value
When
of the
you're
stock
buying
itself.
when you're buying pure stocks.
Yeah, but that's not my point. My point is, it's not what you're buying or buying stocks. It's what medium are you using to buy that
Yeah,
stocks? 'Cause
definitely.
your money stays with that medium. When you, let's say you bought
Yep.
you bought $5,000 worth of Tesla, for example, and your money doubled. Now you have $10,000. You want that money to spend. So
Right.
you liquidate your assets. That money goes from the stock market back to the third party or bank. In that case, you kept that money there, okay? But then a stock market, the stock market crashed. That third party is no longer exists. So your money goes with it.
Oh, okay.
So
But
it's
the
like
bank
their
still
liability.
exists.
Okay.
Does it? Oh no, there's apps that really are not really, they just invest for you. So it's like a service, but they charge you, like their money is from the service charge that you get. So you just use like an app or something.
Yeah, but like that's a
What do you
different
think about
case.
this stuff? Yeah, but
That's a
that
different
was
case
that
than,
was
like,
no, that
mhm.
was what I'm implying. That's
Oh,
what I mean, like
okay,
by
okay.
third parties. I didn't mean like
Like
going
financial
with
institutions.
No, I didn't mean a financial institution that you used to. No, I meant in like people that
Alright,
give
now
you
it makes
access.
sense, yeah.
People that give you access to the stock market.
Mhm.
You see, like it's the medium in between. I get it. I get.
So you use the third party for their investing services.
Because let me tell you something.
For somebody to invest for you.
Even in banks, okay. Stocks, when they buy stocks for you, they act as a different financial institution.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. So
But
we got
it is-
that out of the way. It's
is-
connected to the bank.
Yes.
No, but it's a different financial institution. It goes under different laws, under different
It is due to the laws that it is a different.
yeah,
bank.
but just want to simplify things, okay, for you, because let's say I don't want to give names, but let's say a bank that offers insurance as well.
Mhm.
Let's say ABC Insurance is different from ABC Bank. Yes, it's under the
Definitely,
same
yeah,
name,
yeah.
but might if you get, for an example, if ABC Insurance crashes, the bank will not refund you the money because ABC Bank is a different institution.
But that's the thing. It's under the same
No.
umbrella.
It's
It is
under-
a different institution.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
they will
but
not. they
it's
will
like a
not refund
sister.
you.
It's like a sister company, or it's like a.
But they will not refund
It's-
you.
But if it crashes, like there is support for it to crash. Where
There
a
is
third
support to
party
the
is not
actual
credited, but a third party is not accredited.
Yeah, like in
institution.
Nabil's point, it's all about authority. Like sometimes helped by the government during COVID. Now, especially during COVID, they worked with the government, so there's some things
There's
that we actually
credibility.
trust and we actually know. While
I'm
if
hoping
you're using apps, if this app disappears, okay, now go and follow your Apple claims and stuff like that to be able to get your money back, right? So I think this is the point Nabil is trying to make.
To some point, I do
that's-
agree with him.
Yeah,
I do
but like
agree
at the
with
same time, as you said, it's
But
just
I'm
a
saying
service.
no. I'm saying as well. Like use banks. Like seriously, use banks because
Mhm.
I've seen stupid decisions happen.
Less of a headache.
Yeah, it's so like you really don't want to go into like
Mhm.
not using banks and everything. Just use them. It's easier.
you can go through a third party. That's okay. But the thing is,
If you
we're
don't
we're
know what you're
we're trying to generalize for students like us who we know nothing about investing.
Exactly,
Our
that's the
hopes
point.
are to
Yeah.
to have money to invest in the future.
Definitely.
So a lot of scammers
Mhm.
come under that umbrella
Mhm.
of let me help you. I'm a third party.
That's what happened in
I
Yep.
help you invest. And if you get somebody to invest with you, you'll get some of their money, and all these, pyramid schemes that they disguise themselves very well, and they come to us and they feed off of our hunger.
100%
You know?
true. 100% true.
And-
That's why I
and
took
I'm-
a step back.
And that's why the golden rule is go through the bank. You want somebody to invest for you. You don't know how to invest yourself. You go to a financial advisor. They give you advice for free,
Definitely.
and then you invest in a mutual fund. You invest in a hedge fund. They tell you you'll get your money back. You get this return. You're expected to get this type of return in 5 years. You're expected to this type of return in 2 or 10 years. They know what they're doing. They know what they talk about.
No, I wish
And
people as well.
it's safer for us. It's safer for
Yeah.
for in general. It's just
Yeah.
I wish
much
I wish
better.
as well people go to the banks as well to invest, because here's the thing, like, even though like we're talking about it in the podcast, but it's actually we cannot give advice. It's illegal for us to give advice about investments
Mhm.
unless we have there's a specific degree that we have to get.
Exactly.
I think
Yeah, but you gotta. That's why you go
there's
to a financial
certificate,
advisor.
there's a certificate that you have to get to legally give advice.
Exactly. So we're just saying that you can,
We're just
can get
discussing
your advice from-
discussing the options
Yeah.
basically, but
and it's all based on like personal experiences.
And every single bank has it.
yeah, definitally. That's
Interesting,
what banks are
interesting.
about. Yeah.
So like with the phone call now, I can invest in a stock.
Nowadays, nowadays, if you already met with an investor that he knows you, especially that COVID has changed the way we deal with others. Talking as a person with an experience with a financial institution, everything has changed in the way that we deal with things. So right now we're using more emails. Now we're using phone calls to to get things done. So instead of like you have to physically be there to sign some documents,
Okay.
you can literally sign it, and then scan it back, or even sometimes you can give an electronic signature if you're able to do that. So it's way different than before. I think COVID made it a little bit, made banks push this stuff more
Definitely.
in a good way.
Because they want to get the investments back in. They want
Oh,
the people to move their money, and that's what makes us a good, healthy economy. Is that we have that type of advertising. We're able to push the people to invest more, but through the right institutions.
Oh, definitely through the right institutions. Go to the bank.
Yes.
Yeah, just go to the bank.
Go
That's
to
it.
the bank.
Period. Signature. Nabil Rostum. Ended. Discussion ended.
Discussion. I want to talk about something that is not looked upon, especially from people our age, younger people than I am, people who just turned 18, people who are younger than 18 years old, teenagers mostly. Something that is not taught in school, and I really wish that schools teaches this thing. And this, I kept this thing till the end because I want to talk about it. You didn't know that we were going to talk about this.
Yes.
It's credit scores and how to build them.
It's great that you brought it up, this subject.
It's a very
Confusion.
It's confusing people, and unfortunately a lot of people don't get educated at that subject
Until they lose 10
until
years
they
of their
lose-
lives trying to build
And
this
it's not
credit
only
score.
credit scores. It's they call debt to service ratios.
Thank you.
What's the story behind my credit score and your credit score? How to build
because
this number?
he's been suffering with his
Yeah.
credit score, and
Yes.
I spoke to you about
Yeah,
it.
it was. I mean, like I have
And for
three
me-
digits that to me don't represent anything, and I still don't understand
And
till
for
this
me,
moment.
I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. That's why. And I explained it to you, and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
here we go.
like I mean, I got a credit card and I opened a business for like 2 years and stuff like that, and I still do not understand how the system works. Like what's credit card and how is it connected to credit score? What destroys my credit
Because
score?
I wanna tell a personal story. It's a friend of mine. He wanted to get a mortgage. His credit score is a little bit bad because recently he paid off all of the creditors, of course. But at this score, it takes long till the score goes back up.
Yeah.
He works as an Uber driver, which is and he still doesn't understand that it's not a stable job. It's not a
Yeah.
stable income.
It doesn't count as employment.
No. For banks, they see it as like something that you're making money
On
on.
the side.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have 10 grand from it every month. It doesn't matter if you're making $1,000 from it.
Yeah, like so. Before diving into the answer of that question and to that discussion, the question to clarify the question even more, what does these 3 digits represent? Does it represent my financial status? Does it
Sure.
represent my behavior as a consumer? Does it represent my income? What does it exactly represent?
You seriously answered that.
I think you're more qualified to answer that question.
No,
Yeah.
he seriously answered it like himself. So like it's a combination of 3 things.
How do they calculate it?
It's
I'm
not.
not-
Couldn't
it's
be
a very-
explained in 3 digits.
Okay.
You know, my life is
No,
not 3
no,
digits.
even-
It's
no.
even more than that.
Unfortunately, it is. Because let me tell you something. Okay, it's a very complicated system that really like anything can affect it. It goes up and down, and people don't know that it goes up and down every day. It does. It's how I react. Okay, so let me say tomorrow is my payment for my credit card. I missed my payment.
You reminded me.
Okay, there you go. I missed my payment, and I didn't even pay the minimum payment. It went down.
For like just one time, forgetting to pay.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but I mean, like, let's say, for example, I applied for a car, for a loan for a car, and then because of a bill that I had from a hospital 5 years ago, like 4 years ago, I got rejected.
Why didn't you pay it?
because here's the thing, that's what you said. We're actually not well educated when it comes to credit scores and credit cards and stuff like that.
5 years ago, he was what?
Exactly, I was
16,
just high
15?
school. Like I was, you know,
But here's how it looks to the credit card system. Okay, because it's not a person, it's a system that really calculates. So it looks like this person couldn't pay XXX with the amount of for 4 years. Know how this looks to the system? That looks like you cannot handle this bill. How are you gonna handle a big car?
yeah, but like,
That's-
why don't you look at my income last year?
It doesn't matter.
It's
That's why
but
it's-
employment is that is the
Yeah.
is the golden key. Because if you work Uber, for example, that's not employment. It's not something stable. They don't consider it as employment.
But like, I make, let's say,
It does-
an
yeah.
Uber driver makes
I literally
$20,000 a year, while like a part-time worker in a coffee shop just makes $6,000 a year. How would that
They would
person
prefer
be
they would
more?
prefer the coffee shop.
because that guy has a stable income. They know that it's less likely for him to be, kicked out, for example.
I'm like, personally, I don't get it because like look at the months, look at the past 12 months. I am being stable, and even the person who's working at a coffee shop, he can quit in like 2 weeks. So there's nothing.
Unless you declare
Stable.
you declare it as self-employment. I think that counts.
It does count as
Yeah.
self-employment,
It's self-employment,
but
yes.
that as well is tricky as well. See, like as I told you before, it's an automated system. It's a system that really it calculates things differently.
Exactly.
It's I think also like
You
we
wanna-
should touch upon the debt to service ratios, which was how much debt you have access to or have
Mhm.
in comparison to how much money you make,
Mhm.
and that factors into your credit score too. Let's say I have a credit card that has a $20,000 limit on it, and that means technically I have access to $20,000 worth of debt, but I only make $5,000.
Exactly.
That doesn't work. How come I can borrow 20,000 but I can only pay 5,000 of it? So when I get a car, for example, for 20,000, that's another 20,000 worth of debt, and my income's still 5,000. So the good thing would be that get a
Yeah.
credit card that is
Mhm.
maximum of, let's say, again, out of my own experience,
Yep.
get a credit card that is maximum of double your income.
Exactly. Like my question here is, like, just saying what Ahmed said previously about these stuff being not taught in schools. Like, come on, please teach that our brothers,
I don't
teach
know.
that to our children.
That
Like,
beats me,
it's
man.
Like
It really hurts me that.
exactly it's too it's so confusing. Like,
For
Even
some people-
taxation.
Yeah,
Taxation. I don't know how to do my taxes. What the hell?
yeah, but like I mean, you remember what you said that let's say I have a credit limit of $20,000 and I only make $5,000. Okay, why was I accepted for a $20,000 at the first place if I only make $5,000? Why would you? Why would you give me why would you make me enthusiastic towards spending more money in the credit card while you actually know that I only make $5,000?
Because here's the thing.
My maximum amount in a month that I can make is
Here's the
5K.
Here's the thing. You can declare bankruptcy if you cannot, pay it. You know that.
But like keep that on your report and
Yeah.
see what
But-
happens next.
But
They'll kick you out of your house.
yeah, of course.
That's very bad.
Yeah.
Being
Declaring
bankruptcy.
bankruptcy, people are like they have it as a choice. Unfortunately, like some people understand it. That's a choice. I can declare bankruptcy. It's like, dude, do you know this is gonna take at
Gonna destroy
least
your future.
4 years to clear out of your record, and then it will take some time until
think it's 7
companies
years.
trust you.
Isn't it 7 years to clear out?
I thought it was 4. I'm not sure if it's.
Because I know someone who. I'm not sure again. I'm not sure.
I'm really like it's gonna take a longer time.
Yeah.
And they understand that like after this time, we're gonna have access to everything. No.
It's gonna be there.
Some companies will still see that on your record and be like, maybe I shouldn't give him. Like, I mean, I know some companies are going with that risk nowadays, but a lot of them are not.
You can't even get a credit card if you're
Sometimes, yeah.
declared bad.
It's crazy. It's literally crazy.
Like, to be honest with you, like, let's make it as a person. I'm a person who declared bankruptcy to get out of a debt. All right. If I come to you right now and ask you for a loan of $10,000, would you give it to me?
No.
You
But-
wouldn't.
but-
You wouldn't
no.
risk your money.
Exactly.
Or like in comparison, if Nabil comes up, and this guy always pays his stuff at the right time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like
You would give it to
I'm criticizing the entire system of them giving us a lot of
I feel
big
because-
credit limits while we only make
Well, hey,
very little, So because I know you weren't able to pay your credit card, but the thing is, why were you given a limit of like $10,000 while you only make $2,000 a month? How these
if
calculations work?
Because if I'm smart about it, and if I buy only things that I know I can pay back, and here's how you let's say break the equation or like break the system. You buy only things that you can pay back, and you plan. If you want to buy things over your budget, you plan something. You plan a payment
Ahead of
plan that you can pay it in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't and at least like have some of it, in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's a problem with people. Like they go shopping and they buy everything they want. And it's on their credit card. Like one time I was sitting in university, and across from the table, there was that girl. She was talking about how they called her back from the credit card company and want her to pay, and she told them yes. That girl has like 10 grand on her credit card out of just shopping, and I was just mind blown, man.
Yeah.
Like I was like, God damn, how? Yeah. First of all, what did you buy? Please, if you're watching the episode, please write in the comment. What can you buy for 10 grand to like collect over time? And what were you thinking? Like seriously?
People buy out of emotions.
Showing off.
Yeah.
We're not even aware, with everything so available to us, we're not even aware why we want something.
Seriously, doesn't matter if you drive a crappy Corolla or like a high-end car.
To some people it does.
Like
Some people it does.
yes, I'm driving a crappy Corolla, but hey, my financials are correct. I know where I'm going.
Exactly.
At some point of a time, I'm gonna get a better car. I don't care. Like it's
buying
getting me
things
somewhere.
to impress people you don't like.
Yeah.
Why do I need to show off with that car that I don't even have the money to pay gas for?
Yeah.
Referral to Gary V. Hey Gary V,
Yeah,
if
Gary
you're
V.
listening to us,
Yes.
you're the
I
man. You actually helped us a lot. Sorry.
I watch him a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to invite you in our podcast in the future, hopefully.
Hopefully one day,
Because
I
that's
can see it.
because that's his statement. Like, you are actually interested in showing off to people that you don't like.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, see, like I thought, okay, before getting in uni, because like last year I got in a bit late, so like I got in at the age of 20 to university to because of some stuff that happened. But hey, I got in. I thought that everyone would have similar mindsets of like how do they manage their financials, how they. For God's sake, I see some people who eat outside every day in restaurants that they don't have money for.
Exactly.
And they spend amounts of money that they really don't like. You can't go to a restaurant and spend $50 on food every day for money that you don't have.
And you live with your parents.
And
Well, I
you
mean,
and you live with your parents.
Yeah.
as well.
Speaking-
Are you calling me out now?
I mean,
No, not you, like, I mean
speaking of
generally.
Speaking of uni, some people underestimate university and what it teaches us. They say, okay, I'll just go to university, I'll get a degree and get out. If you really sit there and pay attention, you'll learn stuff. You'll
Definitely.
be a better person. One thing I learned there in economics, Econ 1000, is there's something called an opportunity cost. And it is, if you're buying something, okay,
Right.
or if you're doing something, what are you giving up to do this thing? Let's say now, I'm here for this podcast, all right?
Right.
I'm spending 2 hours out of my day.
Definitely.
Let's say I work full time and I get paid $16 an hour. This podcast is costing me $35. That's how
I wish
the
he's
world.
paying that. I wish he's paying that.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, it is costing me $35. It
Technically,
is
yes.
the opportunity cost for this podcast is $35, where that I did not spend working to get that money. I'm spending
Right.
it here to get no money.
Basically.
Exactly. So if I'm sitting here, okay, I see more value in this than the $35 I'm giving up.
Correct.
And that's how people make profit indirectly. Not every profit is money.
No.
It's not every profit is money you see, at least.
Knowledge is a big thing that you earn
Yeah.
sometimes, and then people don't pay attention to that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that some people don't pay attention to that. Like, let me be honest with you, I really stopped caring about, or giving advice to people to do this, do that, because here's the thing: like, if I see an opportunity, I'm not gonna tell anyone. I'm just gonna go ahead and take it.
Because you know the time
Because
that,
I'm
that
looking-
you'll waste
Because
on
I'm
other
literally
people's lives.
wasting exactly. Because I'm literally, I'm waiting. I'm reading the right time. I'm going for it. I'm spending all of this time for someone to like come in and take it. No, so I'm literally gonna go ahead and like happily take the opportunity and not even tell anyone about it. Sometimes.
Because if somebody like if I am interested in doing something in my life, I would reach out to people like you,
exactly.
and you would not need to reach out for people who are not doing nothing and just giving away your time.
And one of the
advices
blessed
that are
things that
that are gonna
happened-
make no sense.
Definitely one of the blessed things that happened to the podcast is you being in it as well.
Thank you
Like-
so much. Thank you so much.
Really, like
Yeah.
I'm really
you
glad
reached
like to
out-
join you.
you reached out, and then it was amazing. Like there was something that really was telling me this guy is gonna add something.
Thank you
like,
so much. Thank you so much.
It's
Because
about,
like
it's about the passion.
It is.
definitely
It is.
about the passion.
So I looked him up. I see like he's he's willing to do something. You know what I mean? As a in comparison to some people who I really tried to go. There was people who really tried to go, and I understand. Like sometimes you don't have time or you don't feel comfortable coming into a podcast. That is just starting it.
Yeah.
But hey, like one of the people who reached out, it was Mo, and then Mo was like, right off, like
yeah, because like I really because as I said, people who want to do something,
Mhm.
who want to build something, who want to create a better portfolio in their lives, they will reach out for people who are on the track.
right.
This is why I would say I would agree. I couldn't agree anymore with the idea that you said about not wasting time on people who are doing nothing, because
Basically,
if they want to do anything, they would reach out for you.
Let me just say one thing.
go ahead.
People like you
Mhm.
are really rare in our generations.
Yeah.
People who don't see their passion, who don't know where they're going, who don't look within themselves or try to make themselves better in any way, are very rare
Definitely.
in these times. So doing anything, actually, no matter how small it starts, no matter how big it gets, it is still something that makes you and others better. Of course.
Exactly. People around you and your friends and like your environment, everything will benefit from you being, from you using your mind and doing something.
Exactly. Even just studying, you're making yourself better.
Definitely. It's
You
an
know the
investment.
amount of
It's a big
appreciation you
investment.
give to someone studying
You know
nowadays. Nowadays, it's something.
Yeah. You know it's the biggest investment. Like studying is one of the biggest investments that you can make. Because like you don't know at which time or whenever you need this information.
Yeah.
Like wow, really like it can get
Especially for
can
like
get you
university
opportunities.
students.
Yeah.
People don't value education anymore.
No.
Or not even like it doesn't have to be formal
Really
education.
makes me glad.
Just the value and thrill of knowledge people don't have, because from the moment we go into like kindergarten, we're like, oh man, I have homework.
Yeah.
Why? Like that reaction is
I
built
stopped,
from
yeah.
us
I stopped
from
that
a very
mindset.
young age.
Yeah, I stopped that mindset.
Why
a
don't
long time
say
ago.
like, okay, I'm gonna learn, let's say, physics right now.
Right.
Well, because the educational institutions are not as good. That's one of the reasons. Like you know, like
not
for now,
really, but
like we're talking about credit score. Why would I learn geography while there's much more important things that I'm actually facing and hardships that I'm facing because I was learning nothing in high school.
I believe it should have been a choice.
But like no, kids can't choose. Can't
No,
choose.
I know. But what I meant is like in high school, like at least it could have been a choice, or there could have been an extra course.
Exactly.
People appreciate it. Like don't give them exams on it. Don't count it for marks. Don't do anything. Make it in a way that they can go in, add an extra hour in the day. Like they're not gonna kill you for like an extra hour of the day for some information, or not even like an extra hour a week. Let's say.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
One day it's a little bit, an hour extra after school day, and get those students to learn something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In an entertaining way,
Exactly. Yeah. Well, we're moving towards the end of our episode.
Yep.
Thank you very much for being here.
It's a pleasure to be here. I'm really glad.
It's a pleasure for us to have having you in.
It is. It was a great talk with you as well. I learned a lot, like in this hour or 2 hours. Actually.
Yeah, it was actually too much to process. I'm still thinking.
there's probably a lot we're gonna discuss after the episode is done.
Yes.
Yeah.
But hey, if you stayed till the end of the episode, thank you very much for staying till the end of the episode. If you haven't watched our previous episodes, I highly advise you to go and go to the channel, watch them. We are posting some extra clips on the podcast as well. It's on the channel. If you want to check those out, it would be great for us. It would be great for you guys. Share this video with people that you care about, or you want to give an advice for. Tell us in the comments what we can do to improve the podcast. We really want to know about that.
Of course.
If you haven't checked our social media links, they will be in the description, as well as my guest's link. You can reach out for him anytime as well. So yeah, that's the end of our episode, and have a good day.
One thing.
Go ahead.
Hey Google, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right. Thank you.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you.